This is Shakaya. Me and Shakaya met and bonded over our mutual love for house music some years ago. We're both house heads and have been friends since. She's one of those people who walks into a room and just shines, full spirit shows up. She's also a therapist and works with black folk in this city with a small black population. I wonder what it was like for her during this time. Knowing how I've been feeling, I imagine she must have at least been hearing similar stories. And also just want to hear how she was experiencing and navigating this city and this time. This conversation fed me so much. Check it.
I work with people every day and we are suffering from the inside out, right? We see it on TV and we see the brutality and the murders and all that stuff that happens. But what about the day-to-day, us going into these jobs and the microaggression that we experience, right? What about going into the grocery stores? What about our children being treated on so many levels and not having the cognition yet, just developmentally, to voice what's really going on? But we're just always seen as, you know, we're the strength. Yes, we're the strength, but we're also human. And we also have the same daily struggles and feelings and emotions and all that. We go through the same thing. So for me, what's so disheartening is I just don't feel like we are really still getting to the root of it. And I know it takes time, right? I hear that. I know it takes time. I know that. And at the same time, it is time to do much better.
We can go for as far as like a global perspective,
Yeah.
right? A national perspective, and then a local perspective, right? And it seems like what all my heroes are saying is like, yes, we need to be changing these national narratives, but like get involved locally where you're at, and like this is where real change can happen, right? Do you agree with that? Like especially living in Santa Fe, New Mexico?
I want to say repeat the question, but I heard it, so I'm not going to do that. I believe that it can, locally, we can benefit from connecting locally, right? But I really believe that it starts before that. We have to start with self. You got to start with knowledge of self. So you got to get in touch with yourself, find out who you are, find out how these systems and injustice have affected you internally, how you are playing that out, and you make a choice on how are you going to be in this world, right? If you make a choice and you say, I want to make a change, right? So you start with self, and then you go out into the collectives. When I was saying finding like-minded people. So if that's through an organization or is that through a group of friends, you have to figure out what is it that you want to do, how you want to contribute. So if that is you want to start locally, you can start locally. Some people can start on a national level, you know, or an international level, you know. But I think that before any of it, and I do believe that things can change on a local level, but it all starts here. It all starts with self.
You're a therapist and a healer and a light worker, and you deal with black folks. First of all, thank you for doing this work in this city, because you are so needed here. So first of all, just thank you for doing this work.
I receive that.
Oh my goodness. And you know, in a city where there's always like, oh, there's no black people here, and like, there's no, right?
Oh, we here.
We here.
We here.
Yes, we are. And you're working with black folks.
Oh yeah.
And in this moment, what's that like? How? I mean, of course not.
Wonderful.
Segue. Is it?
It's wonderful, even though it's challenging because of having to hold space for so much pain, especially around racial trauma. The beauty for me is really seeing people heal from it, still shine from it, still be able to take care of themselves, still be able to connect, still, and it's not always beautiful, right? We think beauty has to be butterflies and lollipops. No, beauty is that muck at times. Beauty is that imperfection. You know, beauty is that time where a client will come in and you've seen them struggle or go through the same lesson over and over, and then they just get it. And you see that, you know, that glimpse of hope. Those types of things. And it's challenging hearing the things, and my stuff gets triggered too. But also, I believe that all the things that I went through and living on the East Coast and growing up in an all-white neighborhood, I'm from Oregon, it all prepared me for this moment, right? Because I can work with black folks, I can work with Asian folks, I can work with white folks, I can work with any and everybody. I've been prepared, but my calling is to heal the hearts of black people. It's always been that for me.
Why? Because
there's so much magic lost from us because of I'll just say it again, white supremacy, racism. There's so much magic. Our melanin alone, right? Our melanin is the gold. And we are fearful by a lot of things. We are afraid of each other a lot of the times. We are afraid to trust each other. We are afraid to connect with each other. Especially here. I can't say in other places I lived. I have seen it over there, but it's completely different here.
Why is it different here than other? Like, what's the difference particular to?
What I've experienced here is a lot of black people not being able to say hello to each other, and that happened even today. I went and got some food, and there was about 6 black people in the that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was pumped, right? I get pumped,
Yeah.
So, and then right away, like, I'm smiling, and I get the look somewhere else, like, like being afraid to acknowledge another person who looks like you when some days you can go here and not see another black person, And I really love my black brothers.
Sure.
Okay. But I have not felt I really haven't felt love back from my black brothers here. From you. And then there's Brother Freedom, and I just met him, and his energy feels right. But it's been a real challenge. It's been a real challenge to receive the love back, right? Because that's where I feel like I really don't get acknowledged. I really don't get. That's where I feel like with the sisters, I'm like, okay, that happens. But with brothers, I think that really hurts me, and I've seen how it's hurt so many other sisters in so many ways of just us not being acknowledged and protected and cared for the way that we give back, right? Love who you love. I don't care, right? But do not act as though you don't see me. Don't do it. Why? Why? Just because if you're with a sister from another race, why do you feel like you don't have to at least eye contact, a fake smile? I don't give a damn. Give me a phony one, okay?
Right.
Give me a half one.
Right.
Make an eye contact. That's it. Because we are completely down all the time. Especially when you just don't see each other. I just get excited,
Yeah.
I don't have to know you. I ain't got to know your name.
Right.
I just want to acknowledge you,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was tripping. Yeah. I've had many moments of like, I'm out of here, Many.
Yeah.
Okay? But Santa Fe keeps opening more and more to me and my, like, it just keeps like showing us love. And so, I go where the love is.
How does that love feel? I mean, because there's a lot of different ways I feel as a black person that I've been shown love here, right? And like, I feel like I get a lot of love because I'm black.
You do.
Right? Like, of course. Are there black issues? Are we? affected by police brutality in Santa Fe, New Mexico? Like, what is it? What do Black folks want or need here? Is that a thing? Is there a consensus?
Yeah. That's a real good question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there are issues here, right? It's not one person. It's not one voice. It can't be one person say, what are the issues here and what needs to be changed.
But they do that in Chicago. They'll say, yeah, like, what are the issues in Minneapolis, right? Oh, we all agree that we need to do X, Y, and Z. These are what we're fighting for. These are the things. Like, there's a consensus, right?
Right.
Even though it's not one person, but there's a consensus about what it is.
So what is it here?
That's my question to you.
Right. That is the question. But you said people in the community said that we would all agree.
Right.
I can't say that because I don't feel like I have community here.
Huh.
I can't say that. I can't.
You don't feel like you have community or Black community?
I don't feel like I don't have Black community here.
You have community.
Yeah, I have community here. I'm not saying that there's not issues here in Santa Fe, but I just can't say that I can list them off. I just know some of my experiences, and I know there is a lot of racism here, and it's really done in a way where it's not, covert. It's not. Some people are getting called certain names, and people are having certain experience, and I've had certain experience. I've had people touch my hair randomly. I've had people come up to me after Trump won. I had a white man get in my face in the store and blame it on Black people. I've had a lot of little harassments and stuff like that. You
feel safe though?
No.
You don't feel safe?
I don't feel safe in communities that I feel that where it's tippy-toed around. Right? I feel like a lot of times issues here are they tiptoe around it, and they use the spirituality and a lot of spiritual bypassing and stuff like that, and so that makes me actually more afraid. I wasn't in communities where it's like back east. It's very clear.
Right.
It's black and white, or whatever, and it's very clear. We don't mess with you. You don't mess with us. We build our community. Go on and do your own. It's very clear. Here, no. It's very like, I believe in oneness. Oneness. We all get along. All that stuff. But I feel like we're too afraid to talk about the real stuff here, the real issues. We want to keep it on surface levels. And so that makes me afraid. Because I don't feel like I really can trust that. And that's not even just with white people. That's even with Black folks, for me.
Here specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's real, huh?
It is real. But then there's the question, how do you trust again, right? How do you trust? The only way to trust is to trust. That's the only way. That's what Hemingway says. He says the only way to trust is to trust. So how do you trust? You give people the trust, and then you allow them, and you allow life to happen.
You gotta be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You okay? You okay being vulnerable?
I'm okay with being vulnerable.
Really? And getting hurt again and again?
Yeah. I've dealt with a lot of disappointment and a lot of hurt, in my life, and I'm very resilient. I always know how to bounce back, and even though it seems like the older I get, I'm not even, I'm not telling my age, but the older I get, it seems like the bounce back is taking a little bit longer, but I'm still bouncing back, and vulnerability actually isn't about getting hurt. Vulnerability is about, taking a risk, exposing, yourself, but also vulnerability is very powerful. Vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is courageous, and so at the end of the day, we can always get hurt, right? We're all having a human experience, but do you stay closed off and recluse and not able to connect? Or do you still stay open and you still can protect yourself? You still can protect your heart. You still can have boundaries and not let people disrespect you and treat you a type of way, but that you still can be open.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm private, but that doesn't mean that I'm closed off.
Yeah, I see that.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do, especially knowing you.
Yeah. I'm very private, but
Yeah.
I also, once you get to know me, like, I'm an open book too.
Mm-hmm.
We're just traveling around the United States doing our thing, you know, figuring out life. Actually, really just enjoying life, on an adventure of life.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I hit New Mexico, when it said "Welcome to New Mexico," crossing over from Texas, I just started weeping, like
Really?
crying, and I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm crying. And so but it felt like I was returning to something.
Hmm.
That's what it was, you know.